Chinese electric vehicles, EVs, have been gaining popularity and market share in many regions of the world, especially in Europe and Southeast Asia. However, when it comes to the American market, Chinese EVs seem to face more difficulties and barriers than opportunities and advantages. Why is that? What are the main factors that hinder the success of Chinese EVs in America? This video will try to answer these questions by analyzing the current situation and challenges of Chinese EVs in America, as well as the possible strategies and solutions for the future. The current situation and challenges of Chinese EVs in America. According to the data from EV Sales, a website that tracks global EV sales, China was the largest EV market in the world in 2020, with 1.3 million units sold, accounting for 41% of the global market share. In contrast, the US was the second largest EV market, with 328,000 units sold, accounting for 10% of the global market share. However, none of these sales in the US were from Chinese brands. In fact, there is no Chinese EV brand that has officially entered or sold any vehicles in the US market so far. This does not mean that Chinese EV brands have no interest or ambition in the US market. On the contrary, many Chinese EV brands have expressed their intention or plan to enter the US market in the near future. For example, BYD, one of the largest and most successful EV makers in China, has been operating a factory in California since 2013, producing electric buses and trucks for the US market. BYD has also announced that it will launch its passenger EVs in the US by 2025. NIO, another leading EV brand in China, has also revealed its plan to enter the US market by 2024. Other Chinese EV brands, such as XPeng, Li Auto, and Geely, have also shown their interest or potential in expanding to the US market. However, entering and succeeding in the US market is not an easy task for Chinese EV brands. They face many challenges and obstacles that may prevent them from achieving their goals. Some of these challenges are the political and regulatory environment. The US-China trade war and geopolitical tensions have created a hostile and uncertain environment for Chinese companies to operate in the US. The US government has imposed tariffs, sanctions, and restrictions on many Chinese products and companies, including some related to EVs. For example, in 2019, the US Department of Commerce added several Chinese companies that produce lithium-ion batteries for EVs to its entity list, which bans them from doing business with US companies without a license. In 2020, the US Department of Defense also designated several Chinese companies that are involved in EVs as communist Chinese military companies, which prohibits US investors from holding or trading their securities. These measures may affect the supply chain, cost structure, and financing options of Chinese EV brands that want to enter or operate in the US market. The consumer perception and preference. The American consumers may have a negative or skeptical perception of Chinese products and brands, especially when it comes to quality, safety, reliability, and innovation. This may affect their willingness to buy or try Chinese EVs. Moreover, the American consumers may have different preferences and expectations for EVs than other markets. For example, they may prefer larger and more powerful vehicles than smaller and more efficient ones. They may also value more features and functions than price and simplicity. These factors may make it harder for Chinese EV brands to compete with established or emerging players in the US market, such as Tesla, GM, Ford, Toyota, Hyundai, Volkswagen, etc. The infrastructure and ecosystem. The US market may not have sufficient or compatible infrastructure and ecosystem to support the adoption and operation of Chinese EVs. For example, there may not be enough charging stations or outlets that can accommodate different types of plugs or standards used by Chinese EVs. There may also not be enough service centers or dealerships that can provide maintenance or repair services for Chinese EVs. Furthermore, there may not be enough policies or incentives that can encourage or facilitate the purchase or use of Chinese EVs. For example, some states may have stricter emission standards or registration requirements for foreign-made vehicles than domestic ones. Some states may also have lower or no tax credits or rebates for EV buyers than others. The possible strategies and solutions for the future. Despite these challenges and obstacles, Chinese EV brands may still have some opportunities and advantages to enter and succeed in the US market. Some of these opportunities and advantages are: the cost competitiveness. One of the main strengths of Chinese EV brands is their ability to offer lower-cost products than their competitors. This is achieved by leveraging China's large-scale manufacturing capacity, favorable policies, and cost-effective production capabilities. Chinese EV brands can also benefit from the economies of scale and learning effects as they expand their production and sales in other markets. By offering lower-cost products, Chinese EV brands can attract more price-sensitive or budget-conscious consumers in the US market, especially in the low-end or mid-range segments. The product innovation and differentiation. Another strength of Chinese EV brands is their ability to offer innovative and differentiated products than their competitors. This is achieved by investing in R&D, adopting new technologies, and catering to customer needs and preferences. Chinese EV brands can also benefit from the feedback and experience from their customers in other markets, especially in China, which is the most diverse and dynamic EV market in the world. By offering innovative and differentiated products, Chinese EV brands can attract more tech-savvy or adventurous consumers in the US market, especially in the high-end or niche segments. The market expansion and diversification. A third strength of Chinese EV brands is their ability to expand and diversify their market presence and penetration. This is achieved by exploring new regions, segments, or niches that may have less competition or more potential than the existing ones. Chinese EV brands can also benefit from the cooperation and collaboration with local partners, such as distributors, dealers, suppliers, or regulators, who can provide access, support, or guidance for entering or operating in the US market. By expanding and diversifying their market presence and penetration, Chinese EV brands can increase their brand awareness and reputation, as well as their customer base and loyalty, in the US market. To capitalize on these opportunities and advantages, Chinese EV brands may need to adopt some strategies and solutions for the future. Some of these strategies and solutions are: the localization and customization. One of the key strategies for Chinese EV brands to enter and succeed in the US market is to localize and customize their products and services to meet the specific needs and expectations of the American consumers and regulators. This may involve modifying or adapting their designs, features, functions, standards, or specifications to comply with the local regulations, preferences, or habits. This may also involve developing or introducing new models or variants that are tailored for the local market conditions or segments. For example, BYD has launched a new model called Han for the US market, which is a larger and more luxurious sedan than its previous models. The branding and marketing. Another key strategy for Chinese EV brands to enter and succeed in the US market is to enhance their branding and marketing efforts to improve their image and perception among the American consumers and stakeholders. This may involve creating or communicating a clear and consistent brand identity, vision, mission, or value proposition that can differentiate them from their competitors. This may also involve engaging or interacting with the potential or existing customers through various channels, such as social media, online platforms, events, or campaigns. For example, NIO has launched a global brand campaign called Always Forward to showcase its innovation and customer centricity. The collaboration and integration. A third key strategy for Chinese EV brands to enter and succeed in the US market is to seek more collaboration and integration with the local infrastructure and ecosystem that can support their adoption and operation. This may involve partnering or cooperating with local players who can provide complementary or supplementary products or services, such as charging providers, battery suppliers, service providers, etc. This may also involve aligning or integrating with the local policies or incentives that can encourage or facilitate their purchase or use, such as tax credits, rebates, exemptions, etc. For example, XPeng has partnered with ChargePoint, one of the largest charging networks in the US, to offer free charging for its customers. Chinese EVs have been spreading globally in recent years, but they have not yet entered or succeeded in the US market. They face many challenges and obstacles that may prevent them from achieving their goals. However, they also have some opportunities and advantages that may help them overcome these challenges and obstacles. They need to adopt some strategies and solutions that can enable them to localize and customize their products and services, enhance their branding and marketing efforts, and seek more collaboration and integration with the local infrastructure and ecosystem. By doing so, they may be able to enter and succeed in the US market in the near future.